Hi, we're group 15, and this is our presentation.
I'm Sam, I'm in the DGS undeclared.
I'm Alex Ayala, and I'm an aerospace engineer.
I'm Eamon, and I'm a business undeclared student.
I'm Alex, and I'm in aerospace engineering. So what did we decide to create for our minimal viable product? Well, we decided to create a task managing app that gives you periodic reminders to complete tasks, all set by the user. You can set the due date and the frequency of the notifications to your own liking. What features make up our MVP, you might ask? Well, we also have a calendar implementation with Google in order to set the reminders to make it easier for people to know when their events are coming up. We also have a list of tasks visible and created by the user so they can see all the tasks that they need to do. We also have push notifications for reminders and integrated Google authentication to sync with the calendar. And on the right, you can actually see some screenshots and some images of what we decided to design. So for our tech stack, we decided to focus on using Android Studio as the base, seeing as most of our group had Android products. For the language, we decided to focus on Kotlin because it was an easy mix between CS125 Java, which we were learning, and Python, which we were also learning in CS196. We decided to implement an API level of 21 for newer phones, but also to accommodate for older models. We decided to integrate Google authentication into the project itself, considering we were using Android Studio to allow for easier collaboration with other applications such as Google Calendar. For the database, we decided to also follow up on Google and Android by using Firebase and using real-time database in order to be able to send up information. This allows for easier implementation of Google processes for pulling and pushing information to and from the cloud. It also allows for ease of serialization and cloud syncing across real-time database. Also, it's a cheaper and free option for budgeting.
So what did we need to do? Before we could start the front end and the back end of the application, we first learned the basics of essential applications such as Android Studio and Firebase SDK. We also each created a new project in Android Studio and tested it via phone to better understand how the application would transfer to a device. We also created and tested different Firebase utilities such as Firestore and real-time database to analyze efficiency. We also created an object model for events and methods for receiving and pushing events and their data to and from the database. So for the front-end portion of the application, we decided to add features that would allow the user to delete, edit, and add tasks in their will. Users will be able to edit the task name, the date it's due, the description of the task, and the reminders. You'll be able to make the reminders one-time or recurring and specify the time and date you would like to receive them. Reminders will allow you to enlist notifications of your message.
In terms of completion, we were able to implement a recycle view that could hold the task that the user created. We also had a page that allowed the user to add tasks to the recycle view. And we also added functionality that would allow for the deletion of specific tasks on swipe delete. We also allowed users to click on tasks to edit its contents. And we also added checkbox functionality for finished and unfinished tasks.
For the backend portion of our application, we implemented the Firebase SDK to our project, which opened up many features for our app to use. We were able to use Firebase's database, which is where we stored information such as the task name, description, and due date. All of this data is immediately sent to Firebase the moment a task is created. On top of that, the app also opens up Google Calendar to create an event with the task name and description already filled out. If we had more time to work on this app, our ideal product would have allowed the categorization of tasks to allow users to separate things like school and personal work. In addition, we would have also liked to add a daily layout that moves tasks into different time slots. Being able to rank the importance of tasks would have also been a great feature to implement, as this would have allowed users to prioritize different tasks. And finally, we would have liked to implement a focus mode that blocks out the use of other apps to stop users from getting distracted by apps like social media that would prevent them from getting their work done.
What we could have done differently, we could have materialized UI for better styling. We could have also implemented libraries that had code that could have saved us more time. And we could have used MongoDB instead of Firebase database to get better security. And here are some challenges we faced. We had trouble with on-swipe delete functionality and with implementing notifications for a particular time. We also had trouble creating a way to enter a new task via a button And we also all had trouble learning Kotlin and implementing it in Android Studio.
Hi, here's a quick demo of our app. So we have an on swipe to delete feature on our app. So this is what it looks like. If you just swipe right, you can delete a task. And to create a new task, we just click add task at the bottom. Let's have an example task name. And you can choose our date view here and then have an example task description. So let's set that. And now when we click add task, two things happen. First, we get an option to create an event on Google Calendar. And as you can see, it says example task name. If you scroll down here, it says example task description. It's all pre-filled. And then we can save it like that and it shows up on Google Calendar. And on top of that, every time we create a task, we get a new piece of data in real-time database with the date, the description of the task, and the task name. And just for good measure, I can create another task real quick. So add task, example 2, description, add task. Let's create an event on Google Calendar. And as you can see, a second task has been created with a new date, new description, and a new task name.